Devin Haney seems distracted ahead of his big fight against Jose Ramirez on May 2nd. Instead of staying focused on his upcoming opponent, he continues to bring up his past loss to Ryan Garcia, suggesting that steroids played a role in his defeat. This has not gone over well with fans, who believe he is avoiding responsibility. Many see him as someone unwilling to accept the reality of his loss, clinging to excuses instead of learning from the experience. His insistence on discussing the past rather than concentrating on his future fights has only made matters worse in the eyes of boxing enthusiasts. His recent post on X, where he lashed out at people discussing steroids, has only fueled the criticism. His harsh response suggests that he is still emotionally affected by the loss, unable to move past it. Rather than admitting that he struggled against Garcia's powerful left hooks and learning from the experience, Haney continues to revisit the past. This has led many to believe that the fight still haunts him and that he is struggling to come to terms with it. If he truly wants to prove himself as one of the best in the sport, he must let go of what happened and channel all his energy into his upcoming fight. Meanwhile, his fight against Jose Ramirez is a crucial turning point in his career. Ramirez is a former WBC and WBO light welterweight champion with the skill and power to cause serious problems for Haney. If Haney is not fully focused, he could find himself in a dangerous situation inside the ring. A loss to Ramirez would not only damage his reputation, but could also cost him a potential high-stakes rematch with Ryan Garcia in October. Haney's fans want to see him prove his worth, but his current behavior is raising concerns about whether he is mentally prepared for the challenge ahead. A defeat against Ramirez would put Haney in a difficult position. Instead of landing high-profile fights, he could be forced to face dangerous but less financially rewarding opponents like Rolando "Raleigh" Romero, Arnold Barboza Jr., or Teofimo Lopez. These fighters would see Haney as a vulnerable target and would be eager to exploit his weaknesses. If he were to face Teofimo Lopez in particular, the fight could be disastrous for his career. Lopez is known for his aggressive style and knockout power, and if Haney is not at his best, he could suffer a loss that pushes him further away from boxing's elite. With so much at stake, Haney needs to put his past behind him and fully commit to his upcoming fight. If he allows distractions and emotions to take over, he risks damaging his career and missing out on the biggest opportunities ahead. The boxing world is watching, and if he doesn't focus now, he might find himself slipping out of the spotlight and into a position that will be incredibly difficult to recover from. Haney struggles with moving on from his loss to Garcia are not just a personal issue, they are a strategic mistake. In boxing, mental resilience is just as important as physical skill. Fighters who dwell on past defeats instead of adapting and improving often find themselves in a downward spiral. Haney's obsession with proving that Garcia's victory was unfair suggests he is not focusing on his own growth. Instead of sharpening his defense or working on countering power punchers, he is wasting energy on social media battles that won't change the outcome of the past. If he wants to secure his future in boxing, he must learn to accept losses as lessons and use them to come back stronger. Ramirez is not an opponent to take lightly, and Haney's lack of focus could be dangerous. Ramirez is an experienced fighter who has faced top competition, and he will come into this fight determined to win. Unlike Garcia, who relied on raw power, Ramirez brings a mix of technical skill and relentless pressure. If Haney is caught off guard or enters the fight with doubts in his mind, Ramirez could exploit those weaknesses and hand him another painful defeat. A loss here wouldn't just be another setback, it could permanently damage Haney's reputation as a top fighter. The stakes couldn't be higher, and the boxing world is watching closely. Fans and analysts are already questioning whether Haney has the mental toughness to handle adversity. If he allows himself to be distracted by social media drama and past defeats, he will confirm the doubts that people have about him. However, if he shifts his mindset and comes into the fight with laser focus, he has a chance to silence his critics and re-establish himself as one of the best in the division. It all comes down to how he chooses to handle this moment in his career.